Welcome back, class 10. Continuing with your history class, chapter 7, the national movement of 1919 to 1934. The non-cooperation movement, 1920. The Jallianwala Bagh tragedy had created an unbridgeable gulf between the Indians and the British rule. So after the Jallianwala Bagh tragedy, there was a huge gap between the Indians and the Britishers which cannot be bridged. A non-cooperation campaign had already been launched by Khilafat movement in August 1920, blessed by a person no less than Gandhiji. For its success, support of the congressmen was essential. In the meantime, the Khilafat movement has also merged with non-cooperation movement, and Khilafat movement's success was necessary. And for its success, it was necessary that Congress also merged in the movement. Meaning and objectives of non-cooperation movement. A special session of the Congress was held at Kolkata on 4th September 1920. So a special Congress session was held in Calcutta on 4th September 1920. It accepted Gandhiji's plan for non-cooperation with the government till their demands were fulfilled. So non-cooperation would be there until their demands were fulfilled. A resolution on non-cooperation movement was formally ratified in the regular session of the Congress at Nagpur in December 1920. Non-cooperation meant not to cooperate with the evildoer. Gandhi asked his countrymen not to assist the foreign government to rule over them. Non-cooperation movement sought to achieve certain objectives, and these objectives were: number 1, resorting the old status of Sultan of Turkey; number 2, punishing those guilty of atrocities in Punjab; and number 3, attaining Swaraj for India. Gandhi promised Swaraj in 1 year if his program was fully implemented. So Gandhi said that if his program was fully implemented, Swaraj or independence would be achieved within 1 year. Program of the non-cooperation movement. The non-cooperation movement launched by Gandhi had two kinds of programs, negative and positive. So non-cooperation movement which is launched by Gandhiji had two types of programs. One is positive and one is negative. The negative aspect of the program referred to: number 1, the boycott of legislative councils; number 2, the boycott of law courts by the lawyers; number 3, the boycott of government schools and colleges; number 4, the boycott of British goods; and number 5, surrender the titles and honorary posts. So these were negative aspects. That means you are boycotting or refusing. And what are the positive programs? It included Hindu-Muslim unity, number 1; number 2, removal of untouchability; number 3, promotion of Swadeshi, especially home-spun and home-woven clothes; and number 4, prohibition of intoxicating drinks. So this was basically, in a nutshell, the program of non-cooperation movement. Now, the spread and success of the movement. The movement evoked a hearty response throughout the country. There was a very good response in the movement throughout the country. The first elections under the Act of 1919 were to be held in October 1920. All Congress candidates had withdrawn from the contest. The lawyers who gave up their practice included such eminent persons as C.R. Das, Motilal Nehru, and Rajendra Prasad. Lakhs of spinning wheels were distributed to popularize hand-woven clothes. Students left educational institutions owned or aided by government. It was at this time such institutions like Jamia Millia and Kashi Vidyapith were established or started. The Prince of Wales visited India in November 1921. On the day he landed at Bombay, that was on November 17th, the city observed complete hartal and demonstrations. Lala Lajpat Rai, Motilal Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, and many other prominent leaders had been arrested before the end of the year. Gandhiji, however, was not sent to jail. Now comes the Chaurichara Incident. For a year or two, the movement raged fiercely throughout the country. On 5th February 1922, a clash took place at Chaurichara district in Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh. A police officer had beaten some volunteers picketing a liquor shop. A whole crowd of peasants that had gathered there went to the police station. The mob set fire to the police station and some 22 policemen inside it. There were 22 policemen inside the police station. Gandhi was greatly shocked at such a turn of events. He realized that the country was not yet ready for non-violent struggle. Moreover, such incidents could spread to other regions as well. Suspension of the non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement was suspended. Mahatma Gandhi suspended the law-breaking part of the movement and asked congressmen to give all their attention to the constructive, that means the positive side, such as the Hindu-Muslim unity and the use of hand-woven cloth. On 10th March 1922, Gandhiji was arrested for propagation of sedition. He was sentenced to 6 years of imprisonment. Gandhi was released after 2 years because of failing health, bad health. The suspension of the movement gave great dissatisfaction to many congressmen. Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru protested against the resolution of the working committee. Subhash Chandra Bose called it a national calamity. Jawaharlal Nehru also felt that the movement should not have been suspended simply because some poor peasants had misbehaved. Now, what was the impact and significance of the movement? Freedom was still far off, very far away, and the government was as irresponsive as before. Government was not responding to anything. The wrongs done to the people in Punjab were not righted. The wrong done to the people of Punjab was not being rectified. Yet, it would be wrong to say that the movement was a failure. The gains of the movement are: the movement provided a great national base for the National Congress. In fact, non-cooperation movement on a mass scale was the first practiced in 1920-21. Gandhiji evolved a program which could mobilize the masses of the nation. All sections of society, peasants means farmers, workers, lawyers, students, moneyed class, women, oppressed class, they were now actively participating in the struggle of the freedom. People of all castes, creeds and regions proclaimed Gandhi as their leader. Gandhi became their one and only leader. Second is, the movement undermined the power and prestige of the British government. It could create an anti-British feeling to the country. There was total loss of faith in the present system of the government. The people wanted to get rid of the British rules. The British officials were now nervous and a bit shaky. Third is, repression failed to crush the spirit and courage of the people. The movement made the people bold and patriotic. They courted arrest and faced police brutality with a smile. Number 4, Gandhi was determined to emancipate the poor and the oppressed. Now, removal of untouchability and promotion of khadi, which is a hand-woven cloth, became the essential tools of Gandhi in the struggle against the British rule. People took to charkhas, that means the winning speel or the winning spinning wheels, in a big way. Message of Swadeshi spread quickly everywhere. These were regarded as our positive achievements. Number 5 is another positive achievement was that the movement set the scene of Hindu-Muslim unity. Never before had any movement received the willing support of so many people, the Hindus and Muslims alike. And sixth, the point is the weapons of satyagraha and non-cooperation changed the character of Congress overnight. Congress was no longer a deliberative assembly but an organized fighting force. Congress became a very fighting force, very high-spirited organization, pledged to revolution. It was now determined to achieve independence. It has taken a pledge to revolution. Jawaharlal Nehru described non-cooperation as very beautifully said, as a peaceful rebellion, a most civilized form of warfare, and yet dangerous to the stability of the state. So, in today's class, we have revised the full non-cooperation movement, its meaning, the program, how it spread, Chaurichara Incident, suspension, and impact. I hope you have understood. That is all for today.